Black is under a stalemate and there is only one move for white here to win in this puzzle. This puzzle is from 100 years old. So can you find the only move for white here to win? So pause the video and try to find the move. If you try to use your king from a2, going to take this pawn, he will just play a3. And if you take this pawn, now he will push the other pawn because he can't move his king. If you take the pawn with bishop, that's a stalemate. So you must use your king here, and he will keep pushing his pawn, and you will be forced to take, because if you didn't take, he will just promote to a queen, and that's a stalemate. And if you try to use your king from c2 instead, now he will push the e5 pawn. If you take with bishop, he will just push the other pawn. If you try to use your king from b3, he will play a2, and he can't move his king. Like if you try to move your bishop away, for example, at any time, he will just take this pawn and he will take this one and it will be a draw. So you must take this, and that's a stalemate. So after you moved your king to c2 and he played e5, you don't take the pawn here. You try to use your king to take the pawn. He will now push the other pawn. And when you play your king to e4, he will play e2, and now he's threatening to promote to a queen. Like if you played your king to f5 to defend this pawn, and also he can push this one, but he will just promote to a queen and he will win here. So you must take the pawn here and he will promote to a queen, and you must take it and it will be a stalemate. If you try to play your bishop to a1, now he will play his pawn to e5. You try to use your king to defend this pawn. He will now take the g7 pawn, because when he played this pawn here, now this one is undefended. Like if you take this one now with bishop, now you defend this pawn. But he will keep pushing this pawn, and you will be forced to take it again, and it will be a draw. So what is the only move to win here with white in this endgame? The only move is to play a bishop to e5. He can't move his king, and he can't take this pawn. Now he is forced to push this pawn only. Now if you played your king to e2, that's a stalemate. So you play king c2, you will play e2, threatening to promote to a queen. You play king d3, he promotes to a queen, and you take. But here is not a stalemate, because when you take his queen now, he can push this pawn to e5. And here you have only one move with white to win. If you take the pawn, that's a stalemate. The only move, king e4. Yeah, like don't think that this is a stalemate, because now he can take the pawn in g7, because this pawn blocked this pawn here, which was defended by this bishop. And now you don't do the blunder and you take this, because he will take this pawn and now a draw. And also you don't take it with king, the same. But you will play king f5. Now you defended this pawn. This pawn is pinned by your bishop and king, and you will just promote your pawn to a queen, and he can't do anything here, and white wins. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this puzzle, make sure to like the video, and thank you for watching.